And then at the end of it, when I think he really veered off into political territory, don't know if it was on a delay at that point, but when he sort of raised the specter of the Holocaust and never again and Elie Wiesel, I mean, there was this great, Ari Fleischer could have done this great political
Prime
speech.
Minister who doesn't talk about the Holocaust.
Well,
that's
exactly.
not political. That's
but
called survival. That's called learning the lesson.
But also for an American audience, if you are building the case, that's not political.
Talking about the Holocaust is the history of the Jewish people.
Wow. Good job by Ari Fleischer, as we told him yesterday. Joining us now is Andrew Klavan, award-winning novelist, columnist, Truth Revolt, and, of course, truthrevolt.org, and his newest novel, which we're going to have him back next week to talk about because it's just out, is Werewolf Cop. There it is. It's on your screen. Give us a synopsis, Andrew.
It's about the best cop in the world who becomes the worst monster in the world and has to deal with both sides of himself.
Does his hands get hairy?
It's very cool. It's very cool.
I'm sure it is if you wrote it. All right, well, we'll look forward to talking to you about that next time. Let's talk about what we all saw with Netanyahu and perhaps more importantly for this interview, the reaction by the left to it, from Nancy Pelosi saying she was near tears because it was condescending, to Gloria Borges saying it was political because he brought up the Holocaust, to Chris Matthews saying he wanted to take over our foreign policy, and the Black Caucus, not even showing up.
Amazing, amazing stuff. My favorite reaction was President Obama's when he said it was nothing new, and I thought that's absolutely right. The battle between good and evil is the oldest thing in the world. There's nothing new about it. Only Obama thinks that because it's not new, it's somehow invalidated. It's because it doesn't have his fresh original perspective that he's reinvented the questions of good and evil. This is so strange and such an eerie moment in history, and I think it's a moment that actually will go down in history. So many little battles come and go, but I think this moment when the left turned its back on the Jews again, when it turned its back on the state of Israel, when it turned its back on everything that is just basically decent and right. Consider this, Steve. Consider this for just a moment. A co-equal branch of government invites one of our two closest friends to come and address the government. And that's the biggest problem that the administration has. It's not the spread of ISIS. It's not our national debt. It's the fact that a friend of ours has come to speak to our Congress.
And this is a president, who circumvents Congress every chance he gets. Now they're banning bullets. They say he wants to increase taxes through an executive order. We saw what he did with immigration, what he's done with Obamacare, changing that law. He has nothing to do with Congress. He uses the EPA. But, oh my God, they invited somebody, which they have the right to do, and all hell breaks loose.
Yes, and I mean, the one thing you can say positive about Obama is that I don't think he has any more contempt for Congress than he has for anybody else who isn't himself. I think that's the whole thing about him, is that he's got it. He has got this thing figured out, that national debt skyrocketing, the black evil of Islamist terror spreading across the Middle East. He's got it. He's got it all handled. The fact that it's all gotten worse under his watch just hasn't dawned on him, and the idea that maybe that's because of his policies, it doesn't seem to have dawned on him either.
You did a great piece at truthrevolt.org about Good News beheaded Christians, and you talk about Obama and when his statement about let's not get on our high horse because many have been killed in the name of Jesus, and he talked about the Crusades, which by the way ISIS talked about before him, and then again after he did. Maybe they're feeding off each other in their rhetoric somehow, but what he should be saying, especially in reference to Netanyahu, as Netanyahu pointed out at the AIPAC, is that Christians all over the Middle East are being slaughtered, driven out of their homes and their homelands, and only Israel protects Christians and Christian facilities and churches and shrines, and they're welcome there and they're thriving there. But this devout Christian in the White House couldn't care less.
You know what it reminds me of more than anything? It reminds me of Lord of the Rings. It reminds me of this moment when these terrible moments that we have to live through, that nobody asks for, nobody wants, nobody looks for, when evil rises up. And it's called on, all of us are called upon to do whatever we can to oppose them. except for Barack Obama. Barack Obama is off in the Barack Obama world where these things are, evil. Who says it's evil? It's not really evil when you behead people for their religion. It's not really religious when you behead people for your religion. It's not really religion when, in the name of Allah, you behead people praying to Jesus Christ. He's got it. He's just got it. He's so super smart. He's so much smarter than the rest of us. The things that we see in front of our eyes are just an illusion until he illuminates us.
Yeah, well, his motivations and his plan, whatever they may be, he's not a stupid man, and there are more and more people coming forward and saying that all this stuff that's happening, and it's consistent in nature, leaders that keep stability and keep the terrorists out or overthrown, or we don't want them anymore, Muslim Brotherhood comes in, it can't all be an accident. But anyway, for another time. All right, well, the book, Werewolf Cop, I want to have you back next week. We'll talk about it, and we'll have a bigger conversation as well. Andrew, thank you.
Take it easy, Steve. Good to see you.
Take care. Andrew Klavan, ladies and gentlemen. And coming up next, John Barrasso, chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee.